What is going on YouTube? Levi Adams here with another video for you. Today we have a speed drawing of Star from Star versus the Forces of Evil. Um, now I'm debating on when I want to upload this. Um, I'm I want to upload it on Friday, so maybe I'll do a Fan Friday thing where I just kind of talk about the fandoms that I really love. Or like the fandoms that I'm a part of anyway. I don't really know if I love the Star fandom, mainly because I haven't interacted much as a Star fan. Um, but if I don't upload it then this will not be called Fandom Fridays. But if it is, then that's what this is, and you can expect something like this at least once a week. Um, but for the most part, uh, I really just wanted to talk about this show because I recently started watching it on Hulu because I had seen Awestruck Vox on the roundtable talk about it, and I've seen uh, like I've just seen clips of it on YouTube, but like I saw the finale of season 2 actually on YouTube, and I was like, I kind of want to check this out. And I saw that, and I wanted to get to that point in the series, so I was like, why is this, like, I know that this is supposed to cause an emotional reaction, so I want to know why it causes an emotional reaction for its viewer. So I decided to just do a speed drawing and talk about Star versus the Forces of Evil. Now, if you have not watched Star vs. the Force of Evil, first of all, I suggest that you should. It's kind of like, it's like every cartoon ever, pretty much. Every Western cartoon where it starts off with kind of like the daily activities of the person, and of course, like they have the character with like the supernatural powers, and then they have the normal sidekick. Um, and in that respect, it's like a lot of other cartoons, especially like a lot of other Disney Channel cartoons. Which this is a Disney XD original animated series. So I was just kind of wondering, especially because when I first saw this show being advertised, I was like, oh, this looks kind of cool. Maybe I want to watch it. And then I finally gave in and I watched it, and I got hooked. I was not hooked on the first episode. Um, I I don't know when I got hooked, which is why I really wanted to talk about this show, because it doesn't make a whole lot of sense in that regard. It just kind of, like, I got invested in the show, mainly because I was trying to get to an endpoint, I guess. Um, but at the same time, uh, I wanted to, I just kind of wanted to know what the show was about, and I wanted to feel for these characters, so that's kind of why I stuck through it. And I was invested in the world. I thought it was very interesting. I thought Star was a likable character. I thought her best friend Marco was also a very likable character. I honestly think Marco is probably my favorite character. I mean, of course, I love Star as a character, but I think Marco is a very interesting character, and I can relate to Marco as well as a boy, I guess. I don't know, but there were also some very powerful moments in season 2 where I felt very connected to Star as a character, and that's something that I definitely just loved. Um, but for the most part, this is, like I said, this is just me rambling, I suppose. Just me talking while the drawing is going on, because there were some moments. This show made me laugh out loud so many times. I thought it was incredibly funny. I think it's like episode 4 specifically was the first like incredibly funny moment where Star goes through puberty. So for those of you who haven't watched Star versus the Forces of Evil, my first suggestion is watch it. My second suggestion, or like my second thing to say, anyways, is that it's about this girl named Star who's a princess from a dimension called Muni. And she has magical powers, and she inherits her family's wand, and then is sent to Earth so that she can do her magical training as kind of like a punishment, because her parents don't think that she should be on Muni with the wand, um, because she's crazy and she caused like a lot of damage to Muni or something. Um, and is like she's a wild card, and people don't know how to deal with her, and her parents don't really know how to deal with her, so they kind of send her off so that she can do her magical training on her own. So basically, this is like this. The show is about Star learning her magical training, basically, and learning the culture of Earth versus Muni. And there are a lot of hijinks. There are some awful characters, like Princess Ponyhead. I hate that character so much. That it is the worst character ever. She's supposed to be like really funny, and you think she'd be like Amethyst from Steven Universe. And if you haven't seen Steven Universe, then you don't know what I'm talking about. But if you have seen Steven Universe, then you do know what I'm talking about. Where she's like kind of supposed to be Amethyst, except Amethyst does it way better. But that's my personal opinion. Regardless, though, I think that this is a great show, and there are a lot of great character interactions. I think Star's a very funny character. I think Glossaric is also a weirdly funny character, and I think he's going to be very interesting in the seasons to come, because towards the end of season 2, you're kind of like, ooh, Glossaric, what's your deal, boy? And Marco is just an overall interesting character. I love the little romance aspect that you have with Marco, who is in love with Jackie, and Star, who eventually falls for Marco. Spoilers. But it's like kind of obvious when you have a lead male and a lead female that one of them is going to fall for each other, or fall for the other one eventually. Excuse my yawn there. But yeah, this show, I don't know when I got hooked, but I got hooked. And that's the whole reason I wanted to talk about it, because this is a show that kind of grabs you, and it doesn't grab you very hard, but like when it grabs you, you're like, okay, I'll go along on this ride, and then suddenly you just cannot get off the ride, and it's kind of scary, but it's also kind of cool. It's really cool how they do it. The art style is really simple, and the animation was kind of weird. It looked like it was like done in Flash animation, which is kind of similar to My Little Pony. If you're familiar with how My Little Pony is animated, it's very similar, where the characters are on rigs and they're kind of independent, versus a show like Steven Universe where they hand draw the characters every single frame. I mean, they don't do it by hand like they do it digitally, but apparently Star is a digitally animated show in the same way. It's just animated a little differently, I suppose. So ignore the one thing I have to say about this drawing is you have to ignore some of the things that happened. When I was inking, I would accidentally click on things that are on my desktop, or that are just like kind of there, like the toolbar and stuff. I did make a cut because I recorded this in 2 parts. I recorded the drawing in 2 parts anyways. I did like the inking and the coloring, and I didn't want to show the actual like sketching part because I thought that would make the video too long. But maybe I will do more of that depending on what you guys think of this video, and which, if you like these videos, let me know. But anyway, so this show has great music, great characters, it's a great world. I think it's very interesting. Like, they have these things called the dimensional scissors, which they use to cut a hole in between dimensions and travel through them. And I think that is one of like the coolest things in a TV show to date. Like, way cooler than just about anything else in a cartoon nowadays. Like, if anime had dimensional scissors, that would be so cool. But they don't. Star was the first show, to my knowledge, to come up with it. I also love how Star is designed as a character. I really love the long, messy hair, and I don't know. I really enjoy this show. They really, for a comedy-driven show, this show definitely does its job well. There were some episodes where I was just kind of like, okay, I could have done without this episode. But I feel like there are episodes like that with a lot of series. The only series I haven't found that with is probably Your Lie in April, but that's because I'm very biased about that series. I think every series served a purpose in that show because it was only 24 episodes. so there wasn't anything that was really filler per se. And you can't say that there's anything that's filler in Star versus the Forces of Evil, because it's a term used for anime. But I don't want to get into filler versus canon right now, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, this was a great show. I loved it. I loved the music. I think that the second season was way better. The end of season 1 and the second season are like easily the best, because the first season is just first of all is only like 11 episodes long. So, for the most part, that's your introduction into the world, and I think for those purposes, for an introductory purpose, that the first season did an amazing job with what it was supposed to do. However, as far as like piquing my interest and like keeping me super interested in the series, I don't think it did that great of a job. But I knew that there was something coming at the end, which is why I kind of, stuck with it, I think. I probably would have stuck with it just for like the comedy. And it's definitely like a show that you might want to sit down and like watch with your significant other, if your significant other is also into cartoons. But it's a great blend of fantasy and comedy, and the characters are all incredibly likable, except for Princess Ponyhead. I hate Princess Ponyhead. Maybe you love Princess Ponyhead though. Like, go ahead and check out the show though. I'm sure you can find a streaming site anywhere. If you have Hulu, it is on Hulu, but you could also go to other illegal streaming sites. I did watch it on Hulu because I wanted to support the official release, and I have Hulu, so that is why. I think specifically the moment that I just loved, not the moment. The moments I love are the interactions between Star and Marco, which are very common, but all the very meaningful interactions, because Star is very self-conscious, especially in season 2, and Marco's is just looking out for Star emotionally, while Star's kind of helping Marco out and like saving his life physically. And you get to see Star gets them into a majority of the problems that they get into in the show. Like a lot of them are just caused by Star, and then they have to fix it. And Marco's just there to support Star throughout the entire thing. And I think that is why I support the Star and Marco dynamic as of having those two in a romantic relationship, is because watching them grow together as characters is really, really fun. Aside from that, I think this show just has a bunch of great characters, honestly. It's hard to not like any of the characters in the show, except for Princess Ponyhead. It's really easy to hate Princess Ponyhead. But I think the duo of Star and Marco really make the show what it is. And if you're into couples, if you're into just great shows, if you're into magic, if you're into comedy, then this is definitely a show I think you should check out. I've been thinking about this show all weekend. It's something that's been heavily on my mind and I cannot get out of my head, which is why I felt the need to share it with you guys, and which is also why I felt the need to do a drawing for it. That being said, go check out Star vs. the Forces of Evil. If you can, please do something to support the official release if you love it. Season 3 is starting this summer, and I'm really looking forward to catching that. So, like I said, go check it out, enjoy it, love it. Let me know what you think about it in the comment section below. If you've seen it, if you haven't seen it, if my drawing makes you want to see it, which I don't know why it would, it's literally just me talking about it. But if it does, hooray! Comment down below if there's a show that you would like me to check out, or if there is a show that you think deserves a Fan Friday that I've also seen. There are definitely a few shows that I have in mind and that I will definitely be able to do for the Fridays to come. So yes, that being said, my name is Levi Adams, and I will catch you guys next time. Enjoy the rest of the Speak Paint.